Hello and welcome to a Z.E.D video on firearms. This is following up from the single action revolver video. We are now talking about the double action revolver in this video. This is a 6-inch Colt Python 357 Magnum revolver that we're just looking at here. There are a variety of different models of double action revolvers from different companies, so it's not like this is the double action revolver. It is a very good double action revolver, but it's not the only one out there. This is a 6-inch barrel, like I said. The single action revolver you saw before was a 4 3/4 inch barrel. Pretty much kind of the smallest you can get standardly as a single action. The double action revolvers run a much wider gambit. There's barrels longer than this, and there's 2-inch snub-nosed barrels as well. So you can get a real big range of going from belly gun to sidearm holstered type of gun. So the double action revolver has much the same strength and weakness of a single action revolver. The difference here is the double action revolver can just pull the trigger to fire like that. You can also cock it manually, but as you see right there, but you can just pull the trigger and shoot. And that's an advantage because you don't have to worry about cocking the hammer back. You can keep your sight picture better without having another thumb coming up or having to temporarily break it, even minutely, to bring your thumb up to do it again. So that is an advantage. Also, with double action revolvers, the cylinder comes out when it's empty. Oh, not when it's empty. Once you're done, you can take it out at any point, but the cylinder comes out. So when it's empty, you can just depress this and eject the spent brass and put new rounds in. Some double action revolvers have an enclosed striking system, so there's no hammer to pull back, so you have to just pull the trigger. Those are usually smaller, like belly guns. Some of them still have the exposed hammer, so you can cock it yourself. One thing about the trigger pull is it's a harder trigger pull in double action because you're pulling the hammer back, cycling the cylinder, and then releasing the hammer to fall forward. Once you do all that, instead of releasing the hammer when you cock it back normally. So the trigger pull is going to be much finer when you actuate it like a single action, but it can be double action. It's going to be a little bit tougher of a pull. So that's the main difference between it and a single action revolver. This has 6 shots. Some of them have 5, like the 454 Casull, I believe, has 5 shots, and some small, like 38s, really tiny ones, like belly guns, have 5 shots. I think some, depending caliber, of 8 or so, like 22. There are 22 caliber revolvers that have more than 6 shots. I don't know exactly how much. So let's look at why this is a little bit more beneficial than a single action. This has adjustable sights. It can also have fixed sights. Now the single action revolvers can also have adjustable sights. I didn't make it clear in that video, but they can get those depending on which one you're buying. But it has the more standard sight picture on a double action revolver, and the ease of reloading over a single action revolver, because once you're spent all your ammo, the cylinder pops out, eject it out. You can either put them in by hand, or you can get speed loaders and cases to hold on your belt or whatever. And a speed loader looks something like this. This is a speed loader. It holds the round securely, and then what it does is you line it up. Let me switch hands. You line them up into your cylinder, and then you would release them, and then take the speed loader, drop it usually in the middle of a shooting, in the middle of a firefight, but you take the speed loader and put it somewhere. I'm not going to put them in because there's no reason to put those bullets in. So That does increase the speed of reloading immensely compared to a single action army, where everything about a single action army and single action revolver is not just the single action army, is very much single. One bullet in at a time, one shell out at a time, one shot at a time, pretty much, per trigger pull. Well, one trigger pull and then you have to do it again and again. Where with double action, you don't have to do that. So that's really the main difference between the double action and a single action revolver. In terms of survival, in terms of the zombie situation, if you have to choose between those two, I would go with the double action. You can operate a little quicker, and reloading is much faster, leaps and bounds faster. And you can really practice with reloading with speed loaders and get really good at it. But remember, you're only getting 6 shots, so you're not really getting an increase in capacity, you're just getting a quicker reload out of it. But I would definitely go with a double action revolver over a single action revolver for a zombie survival situation. They come in a variety of calibers. This one is 357 Magnum. I believe I said that in the beginning, but this is 357 Magnum, so you can shoot 38 Special and 357. But they also come in 44, 38 only, I believe 40, I don't know off the top of my head, but they do come in other calibers. And remember, we're not really talking about calibers here in this video, we're just talking about the genre of gun, and this is double action revolver. So aside from having some of them having internal hammers and some of them having external hammers, double actions all work the same. Now there are some differences. Smith & Wesson has a button here you push forward, I believe, to let the cylinder out, and this Colt Python, you pull this back to let the cylinder out. So that's one other difference you just have to keep in mind. Other than that, they all operate the same way. You pull the trigger to do everything, or you can cock it back if the hammer is exposed. They come in a variety of sizes too, so the longer the barrel, the more accurate it will be at longer ranges innately. But if you're worried about concealment, they do come smaller. And out of the three, this is the most reliable, I would say, from single action revolvers. Well, single action, double action revolvers, I would say, have the same reliability in terms of they won't jam. They have their own little quirks that can happen, like the cylinder won't align properly, but with proper maintenance, you don't have to worry about that. But there's no case in which they will jam due to a malfunction with the ammunition you're using, or due to just operator error, where a semi-automatic can jam. So I'd say revolvers win in dependability in terms of not jamming, but semi-automatic pistols, I still would say, are the king of your sidearms for a zombie survival situation due to the increased capacity, which we'll talk about in its own video. But there's not too much else to say about the double action revolver in terms of the zombie survival scenario, because just take everything that's you can think about, well, not everything you can think about, everything I said in a single action revolver video, and apply it to a double action revolver, with some exceptions where I noted, like the cylinder comes out, you can load 6 at a time and eject all 6 brass at the time, and the double action nature of a double action revolver. Just to give you an example of the sight picture on this one, you look at it kind of that way, you line it up. It's a easier sight picture to learn on than the groove and fin of the single action. And this sight picture is on some single actions, like I said, it's on double actions, either adjustable or fixed, and it'll be on your semi-automatics as well. So it's pretty much the standard iron sight picture. It may not be exactly the same, but the concept is the same. So without repeating too much stuff, I'd say that's pretty much it in the term of a zombie outbreak. Again, remember, any tool, and a firearm is a tool that gives you an advantage over the zombie, is a good tool to have. And if you have to pick just one to be your sidearm, and you have a bunch of double action revolvers on the table next to a bunch of single action revolvers on the table, for some reason, hypothetically, I would grab a double action revolver over the single action, personally. And I'm not gonna go into what caliber I would grab or anything like that. That'll be a video for its own, on its own time. But that is pretty much it for the double action revolver. A step up, quote unquote, from the single action. In terms of overall, it's the mid range between most efficient to least efficient. It's I would say, out of the three, second most efficient. So right in the middle for dealing with zombies. And that's pretty much it. So the next one in terms of pistols is going to be semi-automatic pistols. Remember, I broke it down to 3 groups. There are a couple of things that don't fit in, as like breech loading and whatnot, but I'm not talking about those here. These are the 3 most abundant, I would say, pistol types out there: single action revolvers, double action revolvers, and semi-automatic pistols. So lastly, we'll be talking about the semi-automatic pistols. And it's another Colt pistol I'm going to be showing you, but I'm just showing you these to look at, to get a feel, not so much get a feel for it because you can't hold it, but to get familiar with what it looks like and how it operates. They don't all exactly look like this nickel. Some of them are blued. They're all different sizes. Same thing with the semi-automatic pistol. In fact, the semi-automatic pistol really runs the gambit in terms of different looks and feels and whatnot, and I'll talk about that in its own video. So look for that to come up probably next. And until then, be safe and take care.